Carbohydrates have long been a staple of the modern diet, but not all carbs are created equal, and not all of them behave benignly in the body. Among the growing concerns linked to carbohydrate overconsumption is the accumulation of abdominal fat, particularly visceral fat, the kind that wraps around internal organs and silently increases the risk of serious health problems. While it's easy to dismiss a bit of belly weight as a cosmetic issue, the truth is far more concerning. Excess carbohydrate intake, especially from refined starches like white bread, pasta, sugary cereals, and baked goods, is a powerful driver of belly fat, and it plays a central role in the development of metabolic syndrome, insulin resistance, and cardiovascular disease. Unlike subcutaneous fat, which sits just under the skin, visceral fat is metabolically active. It releases inflammatory molecules, disrupts hormone signaling, and increases insulin resistance, even in people who aren't visibly overweight. This dangerous fat depot tends to grow when the diet is high in rapidly digested carbohydrates. The mechanism is straightforward. When we eat a meal full of refined starches, blood glucose rises quickly, prompting a spike in insulin. Insulin's job is to shuttle glucose into cells and store excess as fat. But more importantly, insulin also promotes fat storage and inhibits fat breakdown. The more often insulin is spiked, particularly in response to frequent high-carb meals, the more the body favors fat accumulation, especially around the midsection. What makes this especially troubling is how many commonly consumed foods fall into this category. From sandwich bread to white rice, from pasta dinners to pastries and crackers, the modern diet is built around refined carbs that digest quickly and spike blood sugar, with almost no fiber to slow the process. This metabolic pattern repeats meal after meal, leading not just to weight gain in general, but to a very specific type of fat distribution that is closely tied to disease. Even individuals who maintain a normal weight can carry dangerous levels of visceral fat if their diet is dominated by these starch-heavy foods. Over time, this accumulation contributes to a cluster of conditions known as metabolic syndrome, characterized by increased waist circumference, elevated blood pressure, high triglycerides, low HDL cholesterol, and impaired blood sugar control. Each of these markers increases the risk of heart attack, stroke, and type 2 diabetes, but together they signal that the body's metabolic system is under severe strain. Refined carbohydrate intake is not just a minor contributor to this pattern, it is one of its most reliable drivers. Studies have repeatedly shown that individuals who consume a diet rich in refined carbs and added sugars are significantly more likely to develop metabolic syndrome, even in the absence of excess total calories. The process becomes even more insidious when we consider how the body adapts over time. Chronic overconsumption of refined carbs leads to a vicious cycle. As insulin resistance increases, the pancreas must produce more insulin to achieve the same effect. This keeps fat storage elevated and energy availability low, leading to fatigue, cravings, and even more carbohydrate intake. Visceral fat cells, meanwhile, are not passive. They secrete pro-inflammatory cytokines and hormones like resistin, which further impair insulin function and contribute to a systemic state of inflammation and metabolic disruption. These internal changes are not easily visible at first. A person may not realize they're accumulating visceral fat until it's already causing damage. Subtle signs, such as increasing waist size, difficulty losing weight around the abdomen, or a sense of low energy after high-carb meals, are often brushed off. But by the time blood tests reveal abnormal cholesterol or blood sugar levels, the underlying metabolic imbalance is already well underway. Age also exacerbates the problem. As people get older, their insulin sensitivity naturally declines, and their ability to process carbohydrates efficiently weakens. Yet dietary habits often stay the same or worsen due to convenience, cravings, or misinformation. Continued intake of refined starches in middle age and beyond can accelerate fat accumulation in the abdomen, increasing the risk of chronic disease just when the body becomes more vulnerable to them. This is particularly true for postmenopausal women, who often experience a shift towards central fat storage due to hormonal changes, a process that is worsened by high glycemic diets. Unfortunately, many attempts to reduce belly fat focus narrowly on exercise or calorie cutting, while ignoring the disproportionate role of carbohydrates in the process. Without addressing the quality and quantity of carbohydrate intake, especially refined starches, even the best intentions can fall short. It's not just about burning fat. It's about preventing the hormonal and metabolic signals that drive fat storage in the first place. The solution lies in recognizing the powerful connection between diet and abdominal fat, not just in terms of total calories, but in the composition of those calories. Reducing or eliminating refined starches, increasing intake of fiber-rich vegetables and healthy fats, and focusing on protein-rich meals can begin to shift insulin sensitivity in a more favorable direction. Over time, this metabolic realignment can reduce visceral fat, improve markers of metabolic health, and protect against the long-term complications associated with central obesity. The danger of refined carbohydrates isn't just weight gain, it's where and how that weight is stored and what it does beneath the surface. Belly fat is more than an aesthetic issue, it's a warning sign of deeper metabolic harm. Ignoring this connection means ignoring one of the most preventable and dangerous dietary pitfalls of modern life.